Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Margaret Adeoye, and I am a two-time Olympian, and I can now officially say that I'm an Olympic coach as well. As we all know, recently we've had the Olympic Games, and I was blessed and honored to go as part of the Saudi Federation team as a personal coach. But before we get into all of that, I will just start you from the very beginning on who I am and my journey. So I would like to always start with I'm not your average athlete. I think most athletes would probably say that. For me, my journey started actually at the age of 21, which is very strange for like most athletes. I remember actually going to buy my trainers because I was told you need a specific pair of trainers for running. So I went into like my local sports director, buy a pair of trainers. I've put these trainers on and I'm running around the shop to see if they're comfortable. And one of the sales assistants at the time says, why are you running around? Like, what's it for? And I said, yeah, I'm about to start athletics. I was really so like, I don't know how to put it. I was really excited to start this journey on athletics. And then the sales assistant says to me, but haven't you missed the boat? Aren't you a bit too like old now? Like, don't most athletes start at like 7? And I was like, oh, like it almost burst my bubble a bit, but I was just on this cloud nine about my new journey as an athlete and just excited. So I was just like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. Well, I'm just going to give it a shot. If I don't give it a shot, I'll never know. And actually, what got me to this place at the age of 21 to decide to, take up athletics was I had an uncle who really kind of tried to push me into sport, who tried to push me into athletics. And he felt like that was where my gifts were. That's what my purpose was. That's what he thought I was talented in. And he took me down the track when I was about 15. But I remember training actually, and just being at the back of the pack. And I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. I remember having that conversation with him that, are you sure? Because I'm at the back, like, but I think at the time I didn't realize that you have to train. Like all these other kids have been doing this. Anyways, in 2006, the year I decided to take up athletics, he passed away with cancer. And I think I remember just feeling like, wow, life is short. Like if you don't try things, you just don't know what will happen. So after he passed away, I kind of was like, okay, this is what he wanted for me. So let me just give it a shot. What have I got to lose? And yeah, so my journey began with athletics at the age of 21 in 2006. The first kind of couple of years, I was training 2-3 times a week just to get a feel of it. And I realized that I was really enjoying it. And actually, I was considering I was doing 3 days a week, studying, working, doing everything possible, even like having a nightlife too. I was actually doing quite well. I joined Linford Christie in 2009, and for me, I think that really changed the game for me. Like it was it felt like a culture shock almost. Like I joined this elite group with sprinters that were running for the country, Mark Lewis Francis, Laura Turner. And I was just like, wow, maybe I'm really not cut out for this, because I remember just feeling like I didn't know anything, just feeling like I wasn't good enough, because I felt like I was always at the back. I was the weakest in the gym. Everything just felt at the time like negative for me. And I remember going home like after every session, like, am I sure this is what I want to do? Am I sure I'm cut out for this? And at the time I was actually studying as well. So it was like, maybe I should just focus on my academics and just do something else. But I persevered, and the outcome of persevering and just kept on pushing was my achievements. And between 2009 joining Linford and let's say today, I've managed to accomplish quite a bit, I think. My first big championships was like the British University Games, which actually came less than a year after joining Linford. I became the British University's championships over the 100 and 200 meters. And I think for me, that was the beginning of taste, like my success taste. Like I was like, wow, I worked so hard in the winter. I went through all of this, like, I'm not good enough to do this, to then like, become the university's champion, from being a nobody to then potentially being able to make the team, was like wild. And I think from then I kind of just kept on pushing, digging. I had a really good support team. I think I actually met one of your teachers at the time, Michelle Thomas, and I remember sitting down with her and just like, she was a lot more experienced in this whole athletics world than me, and we have a conversation that you just need to sit down and look at your pros and just try and figure out what you actually want from this sport, and sit down and write it down, and just kind of get everything together and try and push yourself. And I remember her really encouraging me, and at the time I was like, I believe that I can do this, but can I? And just having that additional support of somebody that can see what you can almost see yourself, really encouraged me and pushed me to achieve all the things that I've achieved at the moment. But definitely there's still more to come from me. There's a short clip that I want to show you of one of my races. I've got a compilation of 3 races, but I'm going to take you through each race, so that you can see that sometimes, you know what, it's not just winning that counts. It's just, yeah, you have to, yeah, just watch the race. Sorry. Oh, it worked. The link worked. Yes. Okay. Give me a second. Oh, I thought it worked, but it didn't. Give me a second.
You just love technology.
I was thinking this is too good to be true. It's working.
Oh, bless you.
Give me a second. Trying to find it. I'm almost there. Okay, I've got it. Oh, no, it's not showing, is it? Can you see it?
I can't, no. I don't know. I don't know if Kat's still there, whether Kat's got any ideas.
Okay, we might have to skip.
If not, if you want to send us the link, I can send that out afterwards and people can watch it. Okay. Maybe because it's on a different screen and you're only showing the PowerPoint, somebody's just said.
So then how do you... Okay, let's just...
You click the PowerPoint down and go on to the other one, I'm not sure.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Oops. Oh, there I am. Okay.
Of advice on the screen there from Art and Design. Did you see that? I believe you have to share that screen, not the PowerPoint, to see the video and then switch back. Is that you being clever, Charlotte? Where are you when we... Oh, look, there's your face. That's nice. We saw it then.
Okay, yes, I can go like this, I think.
Oh.
Yeah?
There we go. You've done it. Yeah. Yay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so...
So for an athlete to win a medal here, they will have to race 3 times in 2 days. And they have run strongly for the 200-metre champion. Nathan Douglas, 16 metres 15, remains in 4th place in the triple jump. And this next is Nathan Fox. So as they come to the inside, it is the GTF award from Enfield and Harrison. Margaret Adeoye on the inside. Outside her is the hurdle specialist, Margaret Adeoye, right behind. Beasley attempting down the back straight. So 4 hurdles reach 200 metres, and Harriet right now somebody coming in the mix. One of these may well go through the
Can you see this?
Beasley still leading it.
Yes, Margaret.
Okay. Could you see that, or was it just me
We
watching?
did see that.
Great. Fantastic.
You
Now-
can run.
Kind of. I try.
You almost need somebody like me next to you, and then you'd realise how fast you're going.
Okay, so how do am I back on my slides now?
You are, yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I think I've kind of touched on this, on how did I actually get here? How did I get to this point of like running for the country, being okay as an athlete, I guess, being an international athlete. And I think for me, it came down to, like I just said earlier, making a conscious decision. So after winning the British University Championships in 2010, I think that's when I started to really believe in myself, and I had to sit down and make a conscious decision. Okay, so what do I want for myself? Where's this going? Where do I see this going? Because part of this journey as an athlete, or I think anything in life, is you have to make sacrifices, and it takes up a lot of your time, no matter what it is that you want to do. So I had to sit down and almost set my intentions and then make a plan. I was like, okay, so where do I see myself going? I knew we had 2 years to the next Olympics, but how realistic was that for me? So I almost worked backwards. So I said, okay, we have the Olympic Games in 2 years' time. This is the standards that I need to run in order to be there. How far away from that am I? And realistically, is this possible? So I think I recall thinking the qualifying at the time was like 23:0, and at these British University Games, I'd run like 23:7, so it meant I was like 7/10 off qualifying. Now there's a qualification time, but then there's also like 5-6 girls who have run quicker than the qualification time, so it's like, okay, so that means I need to run quicker than that time in order to be there. So I had to plan. And planning involved speaking to my coach, putting things in place that will allow me to almost make sure I'm getting there. So part of that was me setting small goals. And I remember the winter, every month, I'd already put in my diary in advance things like, okay, so I need to be the strongest possible. So each month, at the end of the month, I wrote something like, you need to be, I don't know, bench pressing or squatting 100 kilos by the end of October. By the end of November, you need to be in a position where you're squatting 110 kilos, for instance. So every time I got to the end of each month and I saw my targets and I saw that I had either reached them or surpassed them, it made me feel good and it built my confidence. And a part of that is, I don't know if I've mentioned already, but I was actually studying at the time. So I'm a late bloomer, I like to call myself. So I went to university later than your average. So I went to university in 2007. I think I was 22. Prior to that, I was kind of like, oh, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm not sure if I want to study this, study that. So I just kind of worked and went with it and enjoyed my teens. So once I started university, now I'm training, working a part-time job and studying at the same time. So I had to really manage my time. I went to university in Surrey, which is about 45 minutes to an hour from where I actually trained at Broome now. So it was get to training for 9 o'clock, which meant I left Surrey at like maybe 7:30. If I left later than 7:30, I wouldn't make it in time for training. So I had to really manage my time. So it was like, get to training for 9, make sure I'm out and back, because I had lectures at like 1 o'clock. So I had to like speed down the motorway. Then after my lectures, I would literally, like, I mapped out my day. I would have like a 20-minute nap before I then went to like the libraries in the evenings to study. And this was basically my routine for about 3 years. Like, it's, when I think about it now, I don't know how I did it. I think it was the pure determination of wanting to succeed. So I did almost kind of miss out on little things like, you know, freshers parties or little social events in the evenings that my friends at university went to. But I think for me, I was seeing a bigger picture of wanting to be a successful athlete. So between 2007 and when I graduated in 2010, which was the year that I actually won the British University Games, I probably went out at university once. And that was in 2010. Once I had handed in my dissertation, it was like, okay, let your hair down a little bit, but you know, you've got training. So it was just, yeah, I just feel like when you really want something, you have to be able to manage your time properly. The journey does require a lot of sacrifices, but and you can enjoy it as well. I think that's one of the main things that I want to like kind of make clear is it's very strict. Yes, you manage your time well. Yes, you have to set goals. Yes, you have to be focused, but in between that journey, you can still have fun. Like for me, my fun was, you know, reaching my goals each month and like just being able to see myself improve. So along the journey of being an international athlete or even building up to be an international athlete, I think what we tend to see is the successes. So we see athletes run fast, throw far, or you know, like Cristiano Ronaldo, like he plays amazing football, but what we don't really see or what they don't really show you is the setbacks. Like we pull our muscles, we strain our muscles, we get hurt. It could be physical, it could be mental, you know, like little things like as I was saying, that I was building my confidence because I was setting my goals and I was crushing them. But there has been times where it hasn't quite gone like that. I remember coming off of 2012, I was on the bars, I made the Olympic team. And then the next year for me, it was 2013. And I was like, okay, I've gone to the Olympic Games, I've made the semi-final, this is all good. I've crushed my goals. It was above and beyond anything I expected of myself. The goal for that year was to just make the Olympic Games. Now I've done that. So next year I was like, okay, I won a medal. It sounds crazy, but I was like, I want a medal. And how am I going to do this? And I remember, again, sitting down, going and reviewing my year, reviewing the good things and the bad things. Because actually a part of 2012 as well is I strained my calf 6 weeks before our nationals. I strained my calf because I think I got ahead of myself. I was like in the best shape of my life and I just was doing too much. And so we managed to get through that. I got to the nationals, I qualified for the Olympics, fine, good. So 2013 came and I was like, okay, I want a medal, whatever it takes, I'll do. So I was training even harder. And then we went away to Florida for warm weather training and I strained my hamstring. And at the time, I didn't really want to tell anybody. So instead of me to go and see my physio and be like, oh, I've strained my hamstring, I tried to keep it quiet and just keep going and just keep training. Because sometimes as an athlete, you feel like if you say you've hurt yourself, it becomes real. Like you've hurt yourself, you have to cancel races. And I remember I hurt myself in April and I was meant to go to Doha. Like it's a dream to go to Doha. It's one of the like first diamond leagues of the circuit. I was scheduled to go and I thought, if I let people know I've hurt myself, I can't go to Doha and I really want to go to Doha to race. So I tried to keep it quiet, but the hamstring pain wasn't going away. It had been like 10 days and I still couldn't run properly. And I remember my coach, Linford, saying to me, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I was like, yeah, everything's fine, I'm fine. And the silliness of it is me being quiet set me back 3 months. I finally obviously had to have the conversation with my physio and my team, and it just set me back longer than it should have. But in the back of my head, I was still like, this year I'm going to get a medal. I don't know how I'm going to get a medal. So between April, May, June, I wasn't able to compete. I was training on and off and my mental was just deteriorating. But a part of me was still like, you can do it, it's not over. So I've got that mentality of it's not over until the fat lady sings. It's not over for me until my nationals has gone, they've picked the team and I'm not on the team. So until that happens, it's not over. So I somehow got myself together for the nationals, and I ran the nationals, and I actually, so the Olympic Games, I ran the 200 meters. The next year, because I knew my hamstring wasn't 100%, I didn't run the 200 meters. I ended up running the 400 meters, and I came third at my nationals for the 400 meters, which meant I qualified to go as part of the 4x4 team to Moscow. So we went to Moscow. A few other athletes had setbacks at Moscow, which gave me the opportunity to actually run as part of the 4x4 team. Now I've got zero experience as a relay runner, and they've just literally thrown me in the deep end to run as part of this 4x4 team. So we run the heats, we qualify for the final. I get to run in the final and we come third, which is crazy. So my goal at the beginning of the year still happened. I ended up still getting a medal, which I didn't know where it was coming from. So I got this medal in 2013 as part of a relay team, even with all my setbacks. It was, yeah, it was wild. Okay, I'm hoping that, I think I know how to do it now. So let me share this link to my second race. Oh, no. I think I need to copy it or something. Sorry, guys.
It's a good talking about setbacks, isn't it? So it's just the same as your career. This blooming online stuff.
Yeah.
You can do it. We believe in you.
Thank you. Just trying to like copy and paste it. Hold on. I was hoping the link would just like go straight in, but it's fine.
This entrepreneur brand logo was done by a top freelancer.
Yeah, we could hear that. I think it's just a case of getting that PowerPoint out of the way again. Is it?
Hold on. It was the wrong video, yeah. Because it's just taken me to YouTube, but not to the actual race. Okay, so I found the link. Let me just resume share. Oh, no, new share. Are we in?
Yeah, I think so. Need to go back to the beginning.
Yeah, no, I just want it because it's like the whole day. Yeah, it's this one.
Sorry, I'll stop interrupting.
It's fine. Can you hear? It sounds like it's. So this is the semi-finals of the first race that I showed you guys. That's quiet. Okay.
So on the outside, they'll be looking for quick starts here. They run the first part in lanes, of course, as Early Child. It's Victoria Urugu, though, who's gone out very strongly in lane number 5. And Urugu already up on Early Child outside her. Ihike going well inside her, and Margaret Adeoye starting well as well, but it's Victoria Ahurugu who will come around and try and get to the break first. As they come around the home straight, they go past those yellow cones and then they can break. And Ailey Child wants to get round the outside and get to the bell in front, and she does. It's Child from Ahurugu, from Ahike, Margaret Adeoye, then comes Harriet Pryke and detaches Philippa Lowe at the back. The first two automatically go through. Ailey Child, the defending champion, strides out down the back. Ahurugu now in second place. Adeoye coming on the outside from Ahike, but now Adeoye moves into second place and she's bearing down on Ailey Child as they come round into the home straight. And it's Ailey Child now, a look of determination on her face from Adeoye. Victoria Ahurugu might get run out of this then. It's going to be Child and Adeoye who take the two first automatic spots, and Ahurugu will have to wait and see. A strong finish from Harriet Pryke, who came.
Okay. And I'm back. Yeah, so just going over that race quickly. So that was the semi-final after I showed you the heat. So in the semi-final, I just about came second. So that's why I really want to talk about the mind. So during the heats, I think I just qualified. I just came into second place in the heats and the semi as well. I had to like dig deep to come through. So during that competition, I knew I was in good shape, but I hadn't had any competitions coming into. So I had a 4-month block of training, no races. I just gone straight into our nationals, which those races were. And I remember feeling like, okay, training's been going well, but when I'm racing, it's just not feeling this. It's not feeling the same, and just feeling rusty and lethargic. And I'm really actually having a battle with my mind at this point. Is you can do it. These girls aren't better than you. You've trained really well. This is the year after coming off 2013 with the medal. So this is 2014. Coming off the medal, you're confident, you're part of the 4x4 team. You've done things that, you didn't even dream about doing. And so I've come into this as, a part of the 4x4 team. So everybody wants to take you out now. You're the big gun that people want to take out. Like, so it feels like it's you versus the world at this point. And I just remember having, like, I could have won that heat. I could have won that semi-final, but I was having a mental battle with myself of, is it all been a fluke? Am I good enough? Can I do this? And I just always remember Linford used to say things like, I was never the fastest. I just made people believe that I was. And I just always used to sit down and think, you've got to be confident. Every little, weakness you show, somebody feeds off that. And I think those two races for me was people being able to read that Margaret isn't where she should be. But that was because I was oozing some kind of negative, I don't know if that's the right word. I just wasn't feeling as confident as I should have been feeling, because I did have a good training block, but I've gone into a competition like, oh, I'm not sure where I am. I'm not sure how this is going to go. And you hear like the commentators boosting everybody else, like, because they've had a season of competition where, they've run the fastest, they're number one in the country at the moment, or number two. And I'm not in the rankings because I haven't raced. So, and sometimes when you race as well, you can hear the commentator saying things. So it's just like, oh, I'm not in a good position. Oh, goodness, should I do this? Should I do that? So the mind is such a powerful thing. I don't think that we actually study it enough to understand that how much the mind and how you think can allow you to achieve the goals you want. And I think it's similar to what I said earlier, that I really wanted a medal in 2013, and I was set out to do whatever I could, to the point where I pushed my body to break and was quiet about it, because I really, really wanted a medal. So I just felt like between the heats, the semi, and getting ready for the final, I had to really sit down and talk to myself that, look, you've pushed through, you were in fourth, you pushed through to come into second. There's more inside you. You just need to be fearless and dig deep. And I think the biggest hindrance for a lot of us is fear. We're scared to jump. We're scared to take risks. And sometimes it's not even so much about doing things by yourself, it's surrounding yourself with the right people to allow you to have confidence in yourself, to push yourself, to take that leap, to jump. I feel like your mind is so powerful that it can potentially help you win, it can help you be successful, but at the same time, it can make you weak and lose. I've had, you know, some really tough sessions where I've had to like talk to myself, really talk to myself about what I want from this. You know, there's a session that we do in training, it's like 400 meters and we have like 4 to 6 minutes rest. And you think it's only 4 runs, it's fine, right? And then you do your first one, like, yeah, fine, I've got this. You do your second one, and like, oh, maybe I don't got this, you know? There's been 2 different winters where I've gone in with a mindset of, it's me versus the session, and I'm gonna kill it no matter how my body feels, versus, this session is gonna be really tough today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. And then what happens is, when I go in with that mentality, if I'm going to crush this session, I crush the session. Doesn't matter how much pain my body is in, my mind gets me back to the start line and I push through the pain to, oh, you know what, I'm feeling tired today. Today's not a good day. I just don't know. This session's really hard. And after the first run, I end up being a mess. So that's why I just feel like going into anything in life, you have to have like the right mindset, the right attitude, and it will just set you up. It's just like, I think it sounds cliche, but it's just like when people say, when you wake up in the morning, you have to be positive, you have to have a good mindset, because really it does set up your day, it sets up your week, your life, it literally sets up your life, having a really, really good mindset. So I'm going to show you the final of the last 2 races. So we did these 3 races over 2 days. So the first 2 races was done on the same day, and then this was the final. Give me a second. I'm going to copy the link, try and do it a little bit quicker this time around. Doesn't even let me copy the link. Okay, give me a second. Oh, the one I wanted to be the quickest is end up being the taking me the longest to find. Sorry, guys.
It makes running in the Olympics look easy, doesn't it? This flipping IT stuff.
Because the UA coaches.
Well.
We get to see you in your Team GB gear though, so that's good.
Okay, what's happened here? Oh, I paused it instead of. What? No, this isn't the right race. Sorry, 1 second. Found it. Okay. Pause. Okay, is it this one? Okay, yeah.
Set. Outstanding performances in qualification. Remember the relay team, which is your medal-winning shots at world level. We'll be deciding over the back of this as well. It's all about the first lap and who comes for the inside between those champions. At the moment, Margaret Adeoye, the 200 metre specialist, is running well. In the red again on this driven Margaret. Amy Child and Megan Beasley at the bell in 24.73, so it's quick. At the moment, Adeoye ahead of Beasley, then Child. So just under 100 metres to run. Margaret Adeoye, the 200 metre specialist, ran a stunning first lap, and she still got that run as she took it.
Oh, okay, stop sharing. Yeah. So I feel like for me, that was more mental than anything else. I think going into that race, it was a mental battle. I knew that I was capable of qualifying to make the team, but I had to just push past my fear and just execute and just go for it. And yeah, and that was what I did. I just pushed past my fear and just hope for the best. And yeah, I was rewarded with qualifying for the Europeans and yeah, becoming British champion over the 400 meters, which I think for me, that race gives me chills every time I watch it, because I know the mental battle I went through in order for that to happen. Yeah, so that's my journey as an athlete. So since then, I've kind of moved into a coaching position. So I coach over at Brunel University, and I've been doing that since 2018. And in that time, I've I've managed to collect a few medals as a coach. This picture is from my first year as a coach. One of the girls got silver in the 200 meters, and they also won the 4x2 relay. I also got one of the guys got silver in the 200. I picked up a few silver medals actually as a coach. Technically, it's not my medal, but my athletes picked up a few silver medals at that championship. There's definitely a big mental switch from being a coach. I mean, being an athlete to being a coach. I think one of it is, as an athlete, you're quite selfish. You think about yourself. It's me first, what I need to do for me. Whereas being a coach, you have to put that aside and think about what each athlete needs individually. So it's more of a selfless mindset. And I find it very, very rewarding. Linford always talks about it's one thing being good and it's another thing being able to teach others to be great. And I think there's just I don't know how to explain it. There's a feeling, a rewarding feeling you get from it, because with these students that I've been coaching, I remember our first session in the gym and I was like, oh, I've got work to do. We've got work to do, just from like technical positions in the gym, squatting, benching, strength wise. And I was like, oh, I've got my work cut out for me. And then by December, it was like, oh, these guys know what they're doing. It's working out okay. I can see progress. And so within like 2-3 months, there was so much progress. And then 2-3 months later, they're getting medals. And it's like, oh, okay, it's fine. We've got this, you know. I feel like everything is still the same in terms of setting goals, managing times, prioritizing things, but it's more so for other people than myself. It's been a journey as a coach for me. It definitely isn't an easy job. I think it might be similar to teaching. I hope I'm not offending anybody. I feel like it's similar to teaching because it's more than just me telling, you know, an athlete, run, hit this time. There's so much more. I feel like you're teaching them to be the best version of themselves. And I feel like how I conduct myself and you know, how I basically react to things teaches them how they will be doing the same things, because we spend so much time together as coach and athlete. Like, I see them 6 days a week. We spend 4 to 5 hours a day together. So a lot of their traits they potentially learn from me. So if I'm rude, abrupt, those are the kind of traits I'm subconsciously or consciously aware that they will also start to pick things like that up, because unfortunately that's how life happens. You spend a lot of time with somebody, you tend to pick up their traits. So I'm very conscious about how my relationship is with my athletes. So since 2018, I've been coaching over at Brunel University and enjoying it. I almost enjoy it more than training. I don't know if I can say that. And so, like I said earlier in this conversation, in this talk, that I was blessed to go to the Olympic Games. One of the athletes that I had been coaching for, I think about 2 years, her name is Yasmin. She moved over from Saudi Arabia to London to be coached by myself in Linford. But unfortunately, as we all know, COVID happened and she had to go back home. So everything we've been doing has been like virtual. So it's been like virtual coaching, which has not been no way ideal for anybody. And then she was given a wild card to go to the Olympic Games. I'm not sure if you're aware, but so with the Olympic Games, there is a standard for countries to participate, but also they allow smaller countries who may not have, the standard to have wildcards where you can potentially invite people from your country to come in without the standard to qualify. And with that, that's why they have like prelims, which is before the heat. So all those smaller countries get to run or throw or jump before they can actually get into the main heats of the competition. So I was fortunate enough to go as her personal coach, and she got to run at the Olympic Games, and I got to stand in the Olympic Stadium, which was amazing. It was just a completely different experience for myself, as going to 2 Olympic Games as an athlete, which means you're very focused. You don't really get to enjoy the whole Olympic experience. So I remember going into 2012, I went into the Olympic Village maybe 2 days before I competed, and the 200 meters was right at the end of the Olympic Games. So I didn't really get that whole Olympic Games experience. And then in 2016, I had food poisoning, so I was isolating for like a week. So again, I didn't really get to have that whole Olympic Games experience. Whereas this time round as a coach, obviously I have to be organized. I had to organize her schedule. We had our training times that we went to training. And I just I had to make sure everything she needed, she had in terms of therapy, her nutrition, her sleep. It's just a completely different. Usually I have people that do that for me, but this time around I'm having to make sure somebody else has almost everything that I had, which was quite nice because I'd been there before. I knew that, okay, that you're racing at this time, we need to be up and out and have your breakfast at this time, and just basically scheduling her day to day. And once we did all that, I was able to, walk around the village, just things that I wouldn't do as an athlete because I'm too busy thinking about resting my legs and preparing for competition. So it was just an honor, an amazing opportunity for me. And when I reflect now, I think I was just truly blessed to, juggle competing and coaching. And I think I was rewarded with going to the Olympic Games as a coach. And it just tells me that hard work truly, truly pays off. So I just want to pose, I feel like I've talked you guys to death. So I just want to propose a few questions to you. Just the thought, are you doing everything you can do for you, for your progress? Will your future self be happy with the decisions you're making, or will you live with regret? These are questions that I want you to sit down and ask yourself, and make changes if you need to make changes, or make plans if you need to make plans for you. Thank you. Good luck and be bold. Any questions?
Thanks, Margaret. That was amazing. Thank you so much. And I just think, you know, I hope if people have got questions, you pop them in the chat for me. I think there's actually a question thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
To put them in. But just to say, you know, I think I'm the least sporty person, unfortunately, but a lot of the things that you were saying also relate to other things. So my background was teaching art and design. So, you know, if you want to succeed in art, if you want to succeed in teaching, it's the same thing. You've got to work hard, and you've got to get the right mental attitude as well. I know when I became a manager, there's that thing about imposter syndrome. And I wasn't sure whether I was good enough to do it or whatever. And then people start talking to you as if you are a manager and as if you know what you're talking about. It's all the same, whatever your challenge in life, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think Charlotte's just said there's a lot of discussion, but not questions. But I think they probably, I'm sure the sort of legacy of what you've said, people will be now thinking about all of this. And like you say, you know, you want to achieve something, don't let anyone tell you you can't. Just kind of go for it. Is there anybody else got anything to say? What we are going to do is we've recorded your session, so we are going to put that on the students portal, so a lot more students who are perhaps not in today or in other lessons or whatever will be able to see your talk as well and benefit from it. So I really appreciate that.
No problem.
And I really hope as well you can come in and see us sometime, because that would be amazing.
I would love to. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. It really, really would. And sorry about the technical issues.
Oh. No, it's fine. It's computers.
I can't even share my camera. Not that you particularly want to see me on a Monday morning. Anyway, I'm looking a bit tired. So
that's fine.
All right. Thank you ever so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Good luck. Bye.
Bye.